there will be robots and AIs doing everything, and humans will have no jobs. I mean,
Do you think there's a real possibility of job displacement over the next 10 years? And the rebuttal to that would be that there's going to be new jobs created in technology.
Absolute crap.
Really?
Of course.
How can you be so sure?
Okay, so again, I am not sure about anything. So let's just be very, very clear. It would be very arrogant, okay, to assume that I know.
You just said it was crap.
My belief is it is 100% crap.
Okay.
Take a job like software developer.
Yep.
Okay. Emma.love, my new startup, is me, Sanad, another technical engineer, and a lot of AIs. Okay. That startup would have been 350 developers in the past.
I get that. Okay. But are you now hiring in other roles because of that? Or as is the case with the steam engine. I can't remember the effect, but you probably know that when coal became cheaper, people were worried that the coal industry would go out of business. But actually what happened is people used more trains. So trains now were used for transport and other things and leisure, whereas before they were just used for cargo.
Yeah. So
there became more use cases and the coal industry exploded. So I'm wondering, with technology, yes, software developers are gonna maybe not have as many jobs, but everything's gonna be software.
Name me one.
Name you one what?
Job.
That's going to be created?
Yeah. One job that cannot be done by an AI.
Yeah.
Or a robot. Very interesting principle, exactly how video games are. In video games, you have the entire game world on the hard drive of your console. The player turns right, that part of the game world is rendered, the rest is in superposition.
Supposition meaning?
Superposition means it's available to be rendered, but you have to observe it. The player has to turn to the other side and see it. Okay? I mean, think about the truth of physics, the truth of the fact that this is entirely empty space. These are tiny, 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 I think, almost nothing in terms of mass, but connected with, enough energy so that my finger cannot go through my hand. But even when I hit this...
Your hand against your finger?
Yeah. When I hit my hand against my finger, that sensation is felt in my brain. It's an electrical signal that went through the wires. There's absolutely no way to differentiate that from a signal that can come to you through a Neuralink kind of interface, a computer-brain interface, a CBI, right? So a lot of those things are very, very, very possible. But the truth is, most of the world is not physical. Most of the world happens inside our imagination, our processors.
And I guess it doesn't really matter to our reality.
It doesn't at all. So this is the interesting bit. The interesting bit is it doesn't at all.
Because we still, if this is a video game, we live with consequence.
Yeah, this is your subjective experience of it.
Yeah, and there's consequence in this. I don't like pain.
Correct.
And I like having orgasms. It's like
and you're playing by the rule of the game.
Yeah.
Right? And it's quite interesting. And going back to a conversation we should have, the interesting bit is, if I'm not the avatar, if I'm not this physical form, if I'm the consciousness wearing the headset, what should I invest in? Should I invest in this video game, this level? Or should I invest in the real avatar, in the real me? And not the avatar, but the consciousness, if you want, spirit, if you're religious.
How would I invest in the consciousness or the God or the spirit or whatever? How would I? In the same way that if I was playing Grand Theft Auto, the video game, the character in the game couldn't invest in me holding the controller.
Yes, but you can invest in yourself holding the controller.
Oh, okay, so you're saying that Mo Gawdat is in fact consciousness. And so how would consciousness invest in itself?
By becoming more aware.
Of its consciousness.
Yeah, so real video gamers don't want to win the level. Real video gamers don't want to finish the level, okay? Real video gamers have one objective and one objective only, which is to become better gamers. So you know how serious I am about, I play Halo, I'm one, 2 of every million players can beat me. That's what I rank, right? For my age, phenomena. Hey, anyone, right? So, but seriously, And that's because I don't play. I mean, I practice 45 minutes a day, 4 times a week when I'm not traveling. And I practice with one single objective, which is to become a better gamer. I don't care which shot it is. I don't care what happens in the game. I'm entirely trying to get my reflexes and my flow to become better at this, right?
In this dystopia period, do you forecast the length of that dystopia?
Yeah, I count it exactly as 12 to 15 years. I believe the beginning of the slope will happen in 2027. I mean, we will see signs in 26. We've seen signs in 24, but we will see escalating signs next year, and then a clear slip in 27.
Why?
The geopolitical environment of our world is not very positive. I mean, you really have to think deeply about not the symptoms, but the reasons why we are living the world that we live in today is money, right? And money, for anyone who really knows money is, you and I are peasants. You know, we build businesses, we contribute to the world, we make things, we sell things, and so on. Real money is not made there at all. Real money is made in lending, in fractional reserve, right? And you know, the biggest lender in the world would want reasons to lend, and those reasons are never as big as war. I mean, think about it, huh? The world spent $2.71 trillion on war in 2024, right?
You think the next 12 years are going to be AI dystopia, where things aren't going to go
I
well?
think the next 12 years are going to be human dystopia using AI.
And
Human-induced dystopia using AI.
And you define that by a rise in warfare around the world as
So
people.
the last one, the RIPs, the last one is basically you're going to have a massive concentration of power and a massive distribution of power. Okay, and that basically will mean that those with the maximum concentration of power are going to try to oppress those with democracy of power. Okay, so think about it this way: in today's world, unlike the past, you know, the Houthis with a drone. The Houthis are the Yemeni tribes basically resisting US power and Israeli power in the Red Sea. Okay, they use a drone that is $3,000 worth to attack a warship from the US or an airplane from the US and so on that's worth hundreds of millions. Okay, that kind of democracy of power makes those in power worry a lot about where the next threat is coming from. Okay, and this happens not only in war, but also in economics. Okay, also in innovation, also in technology, and so on and so forth, right? And so basically what that means is that, like you rightly said, as the tech oligarchs are attempting to get to AGI, they want to make sure that as soon as they get to AGI, that nobody else has AGI. And basically, they want to make sure that nobody else has the ability to shake their position of privilege, if you want. Okay, and so you're going to see a world where, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of control, a lot of surveillance, a lot of forced compliance, if you want, or you lose your privilege to be in the world. And it is happening already.
With this acronym, I want to make sure we get through the whole acronym. So
you like dystopians, don't you?
well, I want to do the dystopian thing, then I want to do the utopia.
Okay.
And ideally, how we move from dystopia to utopia. So the F in face RIP
is the loss of freedom as a result of that power dichotomy, right? So you have a massive amount of power, as you can see today in one specific army being powered by the US funds and a lot of money, right? Fighting against peasants, really, that have no weapons almost at all. Okay, some of them are militarized, but the majority of the 2 million people are not. Okay, and so there is massive power that basically says, you know what, I'm gonna oppress as far as I go. Okay, and I'm gonna do whatever I want because the cheerleaders are gonna be quiet, right? Or they're gonna cheer, or even worse. Huh? And so basically, in that, what happens is maximum power threatened by a democracy of power leads to a loss of freedom. A loss of freedom for everyone. Okay?
Because how does that impact my freedom?
Your freedom?
Yeah.
Very soon, you will, if you publish this episode, you're going to start to get questions around, should you be talking about those topics in your podcast? Okay. If I have been on this episode, then probably next time I land in the US, someone will question me. Say, why do you say those things? Which side are you on?